Oh, what day are we today? Happy Wednesday, everybody! I'm glad you could be here. We're gonna have some fun today. I know I say that to you all the time, but one of the things that I don't share with you all the time is that as far as vegetables go, for a lot of vegetables, I'm not a real fan. But as far as cabbage goes, I am a fan, whether it's cooked or raw or whatever it is. I am absolutely a fan. And today we are going to do something with cabbage that is going to be nutritious and delicious, and hopefully you're going to love it as much as I do. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that you understand, if you do not like cabbage, you can substitute kale, you can substitute broccoli, you can substitute cauliflower, you can substitute whatever it is you would like to substitute, as long as you're choosing a keto-friendly vegetable. If you're doing keto, that's kind of important. Okay, so let's get started here. There we go. Okay, so first things first, you can't really do cabbage and bacon unless we have some bacon. So let's cut this up. Now when I'm doing bacon bits, I cut this way so that I have smaller pieces, but when I'm doing cabbage and bacon, not so much. So this is 150 grams of bacon. Now you can cook this until it's nice and crispy. I should probably get my pan heating up here. Okay, so I'm putting that on 4. Oh, itchy nose. There we go. You can cook it until it's nice and crispy if you like your bacon that way, or if you're like me, I like my bacon soft, so I don't cook it quite so much. So how do you eat your bacon? Do you eat it soft, crispy, somewhere in between? Now make sure that your knife is good and sharp, and make sure that you keep your fingers out of the way. Now because of how I like my bacon, this doesn't take as long to cook when it's for me. So we have 150 grams of bacon. Now I'm doing enough for 2 people, so just keep that in mind. So 150 grams of bacon, and I do not know why my nose is itchy. So if your palm is itchy, it means you're going to be receiving money. What does it mean if your nose is itchy? I have no idea. Okay, so we're going to check and make sure your pan is hot. Now, I should have been heating this pan up before. If we put bacon in a cold pan, it's going to stick, and we don't want it to stick. So we're going to make sure that this pan is good and hot. Now, if you have not poured yourself a cup of coffee yet, please go and pour yourself a hot cup of coffee. I have mine right here, and today I have sugar-free gingerbread spice syrup in here, and it is delicious. I love it. Okay, so are we heated up? Pretty close. Now let's just, since I didn't heat that pan up quite as much as I should have, I'm just going to add a wee bit of bacon fat. Not much, just a tiny little bit, because we're going to be getting bacon fat from the bacon that we're putting in there. So we don't need to add a lot of bacon fat, but a little bit just to kind of make up for the fact that I didn't get the... Okay, I'm going to just move this a wee bit. There we go. There. Now we're both on the same screen. Now the pan is starting to smoke. That means we are good to go. Now I'm going to make sure that I've got this pan greased. And there, I maybe put... Oh, how much did I put in there? Half a teaspoon? Just barely enough to get oil on the bottom of the pan. Okay, now we are going to... Oh, hear that sizzle? That means our pan was hot enough. Now, I am without a production crew here today, so we'll set that aside, and I will be my own production crew later. Now, we're just going to let this keep going. And we are going to talk about the cabbage that we're going to put in here. Okay, now, if you want to cook this and have it ready for the cabbage with all of the ingredients and then pour it over raw cabbage, you can absolutely do that. If you like hot cabbage, you can do that. Either way, this is your meal. So how do you like it? And if you're cooking for two, who are you cooking for and how do they like it? If you are cooking for a spouse or a child or a friend, check and see what they like. Okay, we're going to turn this up a bit now. I've got it turned up to 7. Now the reason I'm turning this up, bacon has a lot of liquid in it. And we want that liquid to boil away very quickly because we don't want that in our cabbage. Cabbage has its own liquid, not a lot, but it has some. Okay. We're just going to leave that going. Now, I buy bags of shredded cabbage, and I buy them for Dell. And when I buy the bags of shredded cabbage, the other thing that it has in, other than green and purple cabbage, is it has little bits of carrot in there. And because Dell isn't home right now, I have picked all of the carrot out because I don't want any carrot if I can avoid it. And I'm still seeing a few little pieces in here. Now, do